So-Called is sponsored by loveboiseparks.org, which donates profits to support, promote, and preserve open spaces in Boise, Idaho. Use promo code SOCALLED for 10% off all your purchases at loveboiseparks.org.
If you fail, not the end of the world. You might find something better suited for you. So just take a step back, calm down, figure it out.
This is Mark Wojcik, and I'm wondering, how's your so-called career? Welcome to So-Called, the podcast that explores the why and how of work. On today's episode, we meet Erin Sorensen, project manager at Ethos Design and Remodel and Ethos Real Estate. When we met, I asked Erin to tell me about Ethos and her role.
We're a design-build firm, and I think we're pretty unique because, as far as I know, we're the only design-build firm that is woman-owned and operated in the Treasure Valley. So we actually have an all-woman design team where we are coordinating the design, doing the permit, coordinating all the construction for new and existing homes, generally in the Treasure Valley. That kind of gets to a big portion of what I'm currently working on with our team is just the process and being able to send a bunch of unique buildings through a very similar process so we can start to create some optimization and get more projects done here locally. Remodels are particularly difficult because houses are built here regionally, like over the last 130 years. And so you really need to know about what went into that home originally. And maybe you have to be a little bit of a scientist, an investigator to figure out what issues might exist, like under the walls that you can't see, and anticipate those and kind of go from there before you even can build anything.
Yeah, you have to be like a historian, an archeologist, and what else do you need to know?
Yeah, if I could just get laser vision, that would be great. See through walls.
With your role and working there, tell me what do you like about that role, about what you do?
Well, one thing that I really love about my current role, and it's pretty diverse, so I'm not doing the same thing every single day. I come from an engineering and design background where it's really easy to get stuck in a desk, just putting together plans and doing calculations. But I really like being able to get out in the field and work with our clients, work with our contractors and solve problems. I think the technology is pretty amazing right now. And I just love learning. We're always looking for better ways to do things. And I can give you an example right now. The first few months when I would be out measuring for these remodel projects would be me and a measuring tape, and like it takes forever, like measuring every stinking square inch of a house. Like there has to be a better way. So we just happened to need a couple new cell phones recently, but I heard that we had a LiDAR scanner on our cell phones. I was like, aha, I know how to use LiDAR. I wonder if we can take our phones and start scanning these houses so I don't have to drag a stinking measuring tape around. And it actually ended up being a thing. So we have the phone, we got the app, we figured out how to integrate this 3D model into our building plans. And it's like literally a 10-minute process that just saves us hours and hours and hours. It's like the most incredible thing. The ability to take on new challenges and grow has been really fun. We're not just doing remodels, but we're also working in land use planning and development. So I'm dabbling in construction, but there's also some sales kind of going on in the background, and good time to be building things in Idaho.
Erin's love of learning is evident in her career story and how it has evolved over time.
So I graduated from high school not knowing exactly what I wanted to do. and started at Boise State in the music program in 2001, playing my clarinet. And that, for some reason, it just didn't sit with me. I couldn't figure out how to make a career out of it. And so after a semester of school, I took some time off. And my mother was having some health issues at that time, so I was taking her to cancer treatment. But she was a little bit upset with me. She was like, "Why did you quit school?" And so it was really kind of her dying wish that not only I go back to college, but my brothers and sisters have that opportunity too. So she was a little bit stubborn, and she put all of her, all of the monies that would be handed over to me and my brothers and sisters in an education trust. And she was like, "You're not getting a penny of it unless you go to school." So she passed away in 2002. And just a couple months after she passed, I figured I would take a stab at going back to school. And I went to drafting school, entered a great program for me at the time, and worked myself into a job at Idaho Power, which was great. I was able to grow over a period of 12 years and learn real estate, doing permits. I learned about engineering, which I think when my 20-year-old self wouldn't have even known that was a possible career path for me. Had my kiddos when I was there, and was going to school part-time for engineering, and just got to a point where I was like, this is silly. My 15-year-old is going to graduate from college before I do. So made a pretty tough decision in 2015 to go to school full time and finish my engineering degree. And I'm really glad that I did that. About halfway through my degree program, I found this company that was starting out making homes out of shipping containers, and I was doing a lot of work with Venture College at Boise State. So I was trying to figure out, like, is this a real thing? Is this a startup with a website? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I basically went and door knocked the only address that I could find online for this company. And they ended up hiring me as a student. And I worked with them for 2.5 years designing affordable homes out of shipping containers before I came to Ethos. And I didn't just go from working in utilities straight to housing. I've done some neighborhood volunteerism, community advocacy, and I sit on the board of directors for NeighborWork Boise, where I've been a volunteer there since 2009, advocating for affordable housing and really learning the inner workings of that housing business.
It was through Erin's volunteer work that she met Sarah Cunningham, principal and CEO at Ethos.
Sarah and I both come from neighborhoods and community activism, and we've known each other for about 15 years. I actually met her because one of the volunteer groups that I was working with was like, "Hey, you're a neighborhood representative. You should go see this lady, Sarah, talk at city council. She's awesome." And I pretty much just fell in love with her, and we've had a relationship ever since then.
If you'd like to learn more about Sarah, check out her interview on So-Called in our archives at socalledpodcast.com.
What's next for you? What do you have your eye on for what you might want to do next?
Well, what's next for me right now with the team? We're growing, and as this goes into modular, I want to say I'm dangerous because I've been involved with modular design and container homes, which I think are particularly difficult to design around. But there's been some themes over the past few years that I've really been thinking, why am I not following this path? The customers are out there, they're demanding this specific product, and the policy locally has really adapted to accommodate for us. So we're starting to build accessory dwelling units for folk. So backyard units or granny flats, typically a small home, 1 or 2 bedrooms in size. And it turns out like a lot of the existing subdivisions that we have in Boise, especially in the Bench and the North End, are really friendly to these types of construction. And it opens up a lot of possibilities to just create more housing stock in Idaho so people can afford to live. So I think as we're diving into modular and some of the options there that exist, we're exploring new building materials, including concrete, not traditional Portland cement based concrete, but a geopolymer based concrete that could be made from regional waste streams. And I think there's a lot of possibilities there to take basically just a pile of trash that's flying away in the wind and turn it into a usable building product, whether it's like a cement board panel or prefabricated like building sections that get put in place. So we're exploring options there, and I think I've been through that experience once on kind of paving the way for a new building type, so not terribly afraid to go at it again and see what happens.
What advice would you give your younger self?
I think the advice that I would give my younger self is to just be a kid a little bit longer, not try to grow up so fast. That's definitely something that I'm trying to instill in my own children. I have an 18-year-old and he's headed off to college here in a few weeks. And we're just like, don't grow up too fast. Like, take your time with this experience. Like, we're here to support you. And I think for him, like specifically, I would give him the same advice I'd give my younger self. Like, if you fail, like, not the end of the world. You might find something better suited for you. So just like, I don't know, take a step back, calm down, figure it out. And also, I think my younger self, definitely that like slow down message probably would have been better coming from my future self. I don't know. Like, my husband and I, we've taken on some pretty ambitious projects over the years, side projects in addition to our day jobs. And I don't know, just like sometimes I'm like, what was that all about? We worked so stinking hard. We don't even know how to like take a vacation anymore. That's kind of silly. Or at least make sure to take your ski days or whatever that is. Don't ignore those.
So Called is sponsored by loveboiseparks.org, which donates profits to support, promote, and preserve open spaces in Boise, Idaho. Use promo code SOCALLED for 10% off all your purchases at loveboiseparks.org. Our theme and transition music was composed by Roberto Cavaco. All other stylings are the sound of my voice. If you enjoyed today's episode, please let us know. Subscribe and leave us a review. So Called is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and wherever you get your podcasts.